This is this. For how long are we going to allow our political class to advance self-interest, and to hold this country in perpetuity of uncertainty? That is something I think, Madam CJ, you now have an opportunity under Section 3 of your Act. The first fundamental in Section 3 is your true north, is supremacy of the Constitution. Your true north being the supremacy of the Constitution, and then other factor to consider is that this court is required to help us develop even a political path for this country. Those two becomes very important aids in how we deal with the political class. I'll come to that towards the end. But it is something of concern, because unless it is captured early, I do not see great hope in the way we are proceeding. Madam CJ, first and second respondents are very ordinary Kenyans, very ordinary, humble origin, and this is a country I always have thought is a country of hope and opportunity. Hope and opportunity for each and every Kenyan. A child from humble origin ought to aspire one day to be a Chief Justice of this country. A child of very humble origin ought to aspire to be a top surgeon in this country. I say all this because, in all fairness, unless we show hope and opportunity to all, then we'll be missing an important aspect of our growth. There were questions that were posed to my learned friends. Since I won't have another opportunity, allow me just a few minutes to deal with a few of them. I'll start with the first question about rejected votes. It was posed by one of the judges. Rejected votes is a point we litigated in Raila 1, that is 2013, not as a side issue, but it was the subject of a petition. In 2013, there was a petition dealing with nothing but rejected votes. Rejected votes, Madam CJ, can be the third candidate. It's very easy for rejected votes to be the third candidate. And in 2013 at Bomas, where I had the pleasure and privilege of being the chief agent for the candidate, it became quite obvious that rejected candidates will be the third candidate in that contest. And if they were to be factored, then the whole purpose of rejected votes is to bring down the victory of the candidate who would otherwise have won. So it is a point we litigated at length. Some of my learned friends, my seniors, we litigated at length, and this court held and found that what is to be considered are the valid votes cast. So in my submission, that is a point that has been dealt with. It was again repeated by the court in Ghana. Last year, they rejected the notion of considering rejected votes in the final tally. As a matter of fact, now that I remember, I'm getting a little older, I was clearer then in 2013, it is a misconception to call them rejected votes. It is actually rejected ballot, because a vote is that which is valid, which expresses a choice. So those so-called rejected votes